Welcome, AngieFitnessTV. Are you ready, women, to work your pelvic floor? Rebounder and a small deflated ball or a small deflated pillow, something that's small and can squish in between your legs. All right, we're going to begin with, we're just going to put the ball in between our legs, and we're just going to wake up a little bit with a butt health bounce. Now, you're not squeezing your ball. I always love to wake up our bodies just a little bit before we begin. You may also want to do a health bounce on the rebounder before you get into the pelvic floor. But always before I'm working the pelvic floor, 30 more seconds, you guys. I really like to just focus on the press down between my right and left butt cheek, nice and equal. Shoulders are set back, down and away from my ears. My chest is nice and open. I'm never rounding forward here. I'm focusing really on the press down, waking up that lymphatic system. You're also stimulating the digestive system. And we know our lymphatic system is our immune system. So just love to wake it up with a gentle butt bounce. Listen, you can have your hands on the frames. You can cross your hands on the chest. You want a little more work, just saying good morning to the back extensors. Soft bend in your elbow. I don't want your arms to drop behind your ears. Okay, 30 more seconds. Now, if you're kind of really super warm, you can get a little more vigorous with this butt bounce, but make sure you're bouncing nice and equal between that right butt cheek and that left butt cheek for me. Can you do that? Yep. Looking good. All right, women, let's just take it down on our mat. You still do have that ball in between your legs. Rest your upper body on the mat. Take your hands, place it in the hollow of your back. All I want you to do now is you're just merely holding the ball. Your heels are on the frame. I want you to dig your low back into your hands. So it's a little pelvic tilt. So you have a cup of tea on your belly button, and it's going to drip all the way up to your chest. So right here, we're lifting the tailbone off. So you're gonna feel that pelvic floor hammock, as we call it. We call it a sling. You're gonna feel it engage. So I want you to just tailbone to the rebounder and then smash. It feels like you're just putting your body weight pressure into the mat. We call these pelvic tilts right here. And I have my hand on the hollow of my back. So I'm just lifting and lowering. I'm not squeezing my butt cheeks. You're going to naturally feel your pelvic floor engage right here. So as you're lifting that pelvic tilt, another visual, tailbone coming up and off the rebounder right here. It is a small rocking movement. So you feel that tactile cueing of your low back just coming into your hands. Don't squeeze the butt. It's not a butt squeeze. You're not trying to not go number 2. So you got to really feel the muscles in that pelvic floor engage, not your glutes. There's a difference there. All right, so what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna peel our tailbone off. Now this is known as a bridge, but there's a direct correlation in pelvic floor dysfunction and reduced spinal mobility. Roll it up one vertebra at a time. Roll it down one vertebra at a time. Let me repeat what I just said. There is a direct correlation in pelvic floor dysfunction and reduced spinal mobility. So what do we need to do? If we have a pelvic floor dysfunction, we want to work on our spinal mobility. So what I want you to do is peel your vertebra off, one vertebra at a time, and then roll it down, one vertebra at a time. You're not squeezing your ball. Roll it up through the wet cement, one vertebra at a time, and roll it down, one vertebra at a time. Again, roll it up. We're working on spinal mobility. And roll it down through the wet cement, one vertebra at a time. Again, roll it up and roll it down. All right, I want you to sit. Okay, I want you to sit however you want. I want you to visualize here's your pelvic floor, here's your front, here's your back. I want you to imagine you are sitting on a dry bean and you are taking the front of your pelvis and the back of your pelvis and squeezing the bean up your vagina. Yes, you can laugh. I got this from a physical therapist. So you have a dry bean. You're sitting on it. Squeeze the bean up in your vagina and release. So you're going to feel your pubic bone and your tailbone squeezing together as you get that dry bean to squeeze up your vagina and release. It is not a butt squeeze. So lift front of your pelvis, back, a dry bean. You're going to feel it right here. And release. Another one. You have a Kleenex. Sit on a Kleenex. Swoop that Kleenex up your vagina and back. So you're working the front and back pelvis. Lift up. Get the visual. Visualize a Kleenex or a dry bean swooping up your vagina. Now let's lay down. Let's lay down and do this. Okay, you're laying down. You got the bean. Ready? Swoop it up. You're not trying to stop your urine flow. That's an old way of doing things. Don't squeeze. You don't start from your glutes either. Squeeze the front and the back of your pelvis, and you're taking that dry Kleenex, swooping it up, or the dry bean up your vagina. It's a different feeling. And down. So you're relaxing in through your anal area. Again, front and the back of the pelvis, squeeze together, scooping that dry bean up into your vagina. We're all women here. This is what we teach women in physical therapy, pelvic floor health. So it's no longer about holding your urine. Again, back of your pelvis, front of your pelvis, scoops in that dry bean in the vagina. And you sit and you hold it. Relax, normal breathing. You don't feel your glutes. You don't feel your glutes or anything super engaged. Again, back of your pelvis, front of your pelvis. You got that dry bean as a visual. Swoop it up inside that vagina and hold. So then you're holding that isometric pelvic floor contraction and release. One more. You should do 50 of these a day. Taking the back of your pelvis, your tailbone, and your pubic bone, taking them in together, squeezing that Kleenex or that dry bean, swooping it up into your vagina. So it's not about the butt squeeze. It's not about turning off the flow of urine like we used to hear. And release. Okay, last exercise. Feet come here, put a bend in your knee. Now you're going to ask me, what are we doing? We're doing rotational movements. Evidence-based research in physical therapy. When we have pelvic dysfunction, we also have reduced rotational movement. If we can improve rotational movement, we're going to help with the pelvic floor dysfunction. So we're going to sit up tall. We're going to rotate over to one side of the room. Now, if you can to the back of the room, can you scoop that dry bean up your vagina? Yeah. So engage the pelvic floor, scoop that dry bean up the vagina, look over, one more. Scoop up the dry bean, look over, and release. That was a quick pelvic floor. Do 50 of the dry bean scooping up or Kleenex scooping up every single day. You can do more of these. Do as many of the rotational movements as you want. There is a direct correlation. Reduced spinal mobility and rotation has a direct impact on the pelvic floor because we're dealing with the thoracic and the abdominal region. One is correlated to the other as well. It is time for a beautiful stretch. All right, just pick a leg, any leg. Beautiful stretch here. And lifting a leg. Now let's get some ankle mobility. Just circle that ankle. Now make sure you point and flex. All right, take that leg, take it to the back of the room, look over the opposite shoulder. Getting some spinal mobility in through here. Stretching out your tensor fascia lata. Little bit of your glute is getting stretched here. Let's take that back leg. Let's just hug it in, and front leg is straight. All right, let's lift that back leg. Circle. Circle that ankle in both directions. Just loosen it up. Be sure to reverse. Point and flex. All right, take that back leg, take it to the front of the room, look over the back shoulder. All right, take it up and take it over. Heels on your butt. Arms reach away. Just nestle your butt cheeks into your heels or your calves. All right, if you can, we're going to do an upward facing dog. Hands are in your frame. All right, can you put your toes on the frame of your rebounder and your hands on the frames and lift up? Heels are coming down. Beautiful, beautiful calf stretch. Right here, just sit. Last song here to stretch through. Want to make sure we get a really beautiful, beautiful stretch here. Let those heels just dangle. Feel that calf really stretch. Okay, drop your knees on the rebounder. Take one leg forward, one knee on the rebounder, and just get a beautiful hip flexor stretch. Looking for a sense of control, but it's letting my pain define me. It's getting in the way. All right, take your back hand on the frame, front hand up. Spinal rotation and twist. Never too late to change. Let go, never look back. Don't All right, we're just going to rotate to the other side. We're going to stretch that other hip. Hands can be on the frame. You can have a hand on the stability bar or wall. And we're just lifting. Back hand down on the frame. Front fingertips to the ceiling. Even when it isn't my fault, gotta own my side of the story and take all the lessons I learned with me. All right, let's sit on the rebounder. Let's take it wide. Just pick a side and begin to reach for that side. You can have your hands on the frame. It's never too late to change. You can also point and flex. Other side. Take it up. Right hand is going to reach to the left side, the back of the frame. Left hand will reach to the back of the frame on the right and give a little pull away. It's easy to get stuck in the past. All right, put your hands on the frame and put your feet on the mat. Beautiful hip opening. Let your toes hang on the frame. Lift your butt cheeks. It's really a beautiful hip opening exercise. Just open up and through the hips. Come on down. Reach for those toes. Hands can come on the frame. You can just rotate side to side if you want. You can press that right hand in, pressing away. Just move. You can dig your heels into the frame, hands into the frame, and just fold over. You can also give a little push back, press back. It's going to open up and through the shoulders and your back a little more. You can cross your hands, put them on the frame, cross your hands, and then cross them the other way. Many ways to stretch here. All right, sit it up. I got to do my goddess stretch. Look over that shoulder. Oh, look over the other shoulder. Deep breath in. And exhale. AngieFitnessTV. I'll see you for our next workout.